And good morning, Buffaloes Nation, and anyone who may be interested in Pilot Mound Hockey Academy into a breaking news segment, a newsbreaker here, surrounding or regarding Pilot Mound Hockey Academy, as Nichole Collins is going to be joining the show to talk expansion with myself. As Pilot Mound, it still needs to be approved, but they are going to be adding on to their programs with a U15 program and a U17 program throughout these next couple of years. These won't be prep hockey teams like the ones that Pilot Mound already has. They're going to be classified in the U15 and U17 divisions in the CSSHL, which would be more equivalent to AAA from my understanding from Nichole. But yeah, I'll let the president, or not president, basically the president of Pilot Mound Hockey Academy, but no, her official title is general manager. I'll let her take it away now as we're live on this Friday morning for a Pilot Mound Hockey Academy news break. Very exciting news indeed. Well, the big announcement here on our YouTube channel on G-Show Productions, as well as on our website at gshow.ca. It's the general manager of Pilot Mound Hockey Academy on here to break this news. Nichole, the talk has been apparently two new programs heading to Pilot Mound Hockey Academy. Let us in on the news.
For sure. So we've been pondering this as part of our long-term planning for quite a few years, and we have gone to Hockey Manitoba and Hockey Canada via appeal twice. So this is the third year that we've requested or made this request to Hockey Manitoba. So the request is, in a nutshell, is we believe that a six-team structure is appropriate for proper hockey development pathways. Looking at it, and this is more so on the male side of the program. So what many programs have is the ability for any student athlete to move through the program from U15 all the way to U18. And what we have been awarded, which is fantastic, is the addition of two new teams, a U15 AAA and a U17 AAA. So that will be added into our prep complement. And what it'll do is enable student athletes, for example, somebody who's U15 who hasn't hit puberty yet or grown enough or isn't quite ready to transition to U17 prep, having the ability for them to move to this U17 AAA team, AAA varsity, whatever anybody calls it, doesn't matter. And so they can continue their hockey development pathway, grow a little bit, still be part of our program. They don't have to leave school. They don't have to go home. And they can continue to develop and then continue to move through each of our teams. So what we've seen in the past is that some of those kids in that same scenario have had to go back to their home organization or to another team that has this type of offering, and then they've had to leave our program. So we don't want to see that anymore. We want to keep them here. We want to keep them in the same school and as part of the PMHA family. So we're pretty excited to have these new teams joining us so we can complete that pathway.
Yeah, and even though it's not prep teams, I think that's very exciting. Like you said, I think it brings an opportunity to keep more potential talent for those prep programs in-house. So I guess to get some logistics here, where are these AAA teams going to be competing? Is it going to be with different schools within high schools, for example, or is it going to be against other actual AAA teams from around the province?
So how it works, it's still part of, and we have to finalize, the application process with the CSSHL and all of that. It's those formalities, but the CSSHL has these divisions within their league. So it'll be part of that league. And again, that same hockey development pathway. So they're still part of the league. They're still progressing, developing all of the things. They're still having the exact same experience as the prep program. Yeah, pathway to graduation, all the things that we do in terms of on and off ice and citizenship development, etc. It's exact same experience. So
Yeah, and of course for the CSSHL, of course, as mentioned, they do have prep divisions and then they have these other divisions, whereas we just take a look at standings, for example, to see which academies have teams in this. Teams like Delta, for example, the Rink, Yale, BWC, NAX, OHA Edmonton. So when taking a look at all those programs and how they've been able to see success throughout the years, like you said, this is kind of a part of the long-term development plan at Pilot Mound, based on research and looking at what these teams have done. Do you feel like similar successes could very well be on the way to Pilot Mound if the strategy is used effectively?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think we're in a good place in the league now. We've worked hard over the last couple of years to increase the quality and breadth and depth of our teams, as well as our seat at the league table. So I think we've done that, and we're in a good spot. This will only continue to enhance that standing at the league level on all sides, and be contenders in those divisions. I see them just as different divisions, same student athletes, same experience, different division. And they'll be treated no differently than anybody else. And we're pumped to add two more teams. And to be able to, same thing, they'll travel to BC for showcases. BC will travel here, those kinds of things. So 50 plus game season, extra tournaments, all of the same experience that anybody else has. And my son actually said it best that the difference between U15 and U15 prep is puberty, oftentimes. And that's a really good way to look at it, is that they just haven't quite got there yet. They haven't quite grown enough yet. So they just need that extra year and that extra opportunity to get themselves into a place to be ready for prep. But sometimes they aren't, and that, they stay in that AAA varsity division, and that's cool too. So it gives families choice to be part of us and part of the league, in the best fit for that student athlete. And I think that's pretty cool that we can add this extra opportunity and choice for families.
And like you mentioned, still the same type of travel opportunities. Does the, I guess, in-house stuff stay the same in terms of the amount of ice time they get, the same
Yeah,
training regimen? I assume it's all underneath one umbrella at the end of the day.
absolutely. Yeah, exact same experience. You bet. Yeah. So same many hours on the ice, same hours in the gym, same volunteer requirements, same school requirements. Um, what we do have to do next is, and we already, as you know, we have the infrastructure with our dorms and the dining hall and the gym, and all of those things are already in place. So next steps is to break ground on another wing on our building to develop, so we have enough space to welcome more student athletes. So we're looking at that now, and hopes to be ready for next September. The other decision we're making is if we're going to ice both teams or just one for next season. So the plan at this point is definitely to ice the U17 team. And that's mostly based on accommodations and our ability to house what would be 5 teams, with a maximum of 6 in the buildings that we have built. So one wing for now, another wing to come in the next couple of years, to complete everything. So that's the plan.
All the beautiful dorms down in Pilot Mound, Manitoba, going to be getting some upgrades, some renovations here coming up soon. But as for, I guess, for parents that are looking to send their kids here that may end up in this program, like you said, a big part of it is just the puberty difference. But in terms of, I guess, exposure for the kids in these programs, what can parents and as well as the players be expecting if they're able to make these U17 and U15 programs outside of the prep, what that'll look like from that aspect?
For sure. So they're given the same opportunities and similar exposure as anyone would receive in the league. The scouts would look at them from the level and caliber that they're playing at. But there's still college scouts there. There's still junior opportunities, all of those things. Nothing changes in that capacity. And then, of course, the ability to move between teams and move up and all of those sorts of things. So it gives us more ability to have choice to move players through, and then gives families that choice. So, if a student athlete thinks they can't quite make prep, then they don't feel like the door is closed on them to be part of the league and to be part of their dream of hockey development and moving into that junior and college scenario. That door is still open to them at this level as well.
Well, right on, and great to hear that there's going to be plenty of opportunities moving for Pilot Mound, like you said, U17 program that's set to roll out next year. But what's going to be the, I guess, behind the scenes process in terms of getting these teams ready? I assume a lot of recruiting and marketing is going to be done here moving forward.
For sure, recruiting, marketing, getting coaching staff in place. We hope to have that done in the next couple of months. so that that coach can work to do that recruiting. Of course, we've got student athletes on the U15 team that are ready to move up. So evaluating that retention capacity and offering spots on one or either of the U17 teams. So I think that'll help increase our retention, which is awesome to keep kids in Pilot Mound as long as we can. And then, as you say, roll out the recruitment strategies when it's time after playoffs, those kinds of things to start to build those teams. So the first steps are the building, getting that going and planned and in place so that we can break ground as soon as the snow's gone. And then putting that coaching staff in place, as well as building out the schedule of when our practice time is going to be and workout times, and making sure the school is aware that extra students are coming so that we can look at scheduling and class sizes and those kinds of things. So all of those discussions are already underway. Arena board as well, dressing rooms, those kinds of things. But this is fun for me. I love to build. So I see this as a fun challenge and not anxiety driven at all. It's pretty exciting to see 20 more student athletes be able to be part of our family.
Yeah, and it just adds to the legacy that's been being built down here in Pilot Mound, starting off with, well, one program back in 2015-16 that wasn't even in the CSSHL Prep League as of yet, and now today in 2025, heading into 2026, this program looking to add on one more for sure, and two more throughout the next few years here. Nichole Collins, General Manager of Pilot Mountain Hockey Academy, thank you so much for coming on here and breaking the news to our viewers. Very excited to see how things are going to roll out here leading up to the U17's team release.
Excellent. Thanks so much as always, Graeme.
Nichole Collins joining a Pilot Mound Hockey Academy news break here on your home for Buffalo's content on G-Show Productions on gshow.ca. And going to be really exciting to see when these two teams roll out. As Nichole said, the U17s looking to be added into the fold next year. Next season, construction on expanding the dorms is going to be happening soon, and all the fun stuff in this process into adding a few more teams into the academy. And from 2 seasons from now, we're going to be looking at 6 programs in total for Pilot Mound. Pretty cool looking back at when the program started. Didn't even start off in the CSSHL with the U17 prep program, and ever since then they've been able to add on 4 prep programs, and now coming is going to be a U17 program and a U15 program, and hopefully these programs will help fuel the prep programs for Pilot Mound when the kids that play on the U17s or U15s are able to make that jump to prep. So we'll have more news about this, I'm sure, at some point throughout this year on the Buffaloes podcast, as we'll get some updates from the staff down in Pilot Mound on how the expansion is coming along. And given that we're back next year, we'll be able to cover one of the 2 new teams that are going to be added into Pilot Mound Hockey Academy's family. So if you want to stay up to date with all news Pilot Mound Hockey Academy, be sure to check out their website at pilotmoundhockeyacademy.com, as well as consider subscribing here and turning on notifications so you don't miss any future uploads with everything to do with Pilot Mound Hockey Academy. And yeah, that's going to do it for this special segment, a Pilot Mound Hockey Academy news break. I've been your host, Graeme the G-Show Forsyth, wishing you all a wonderful weekend. Huge news for Pilot Mound Hockey Academy in small town Pilot Mound, Manitoba. Getting bigger and bigger every year, adding on to their family here very soon. Take care, everybody.